Zuma remains MKP leader, says IEC. The Electoral Commission of South Africa (IEC) on Tuesday responded to attempts to remove Jacob Zuma as leader of the controversies party (MKP), saying the former president remained the registered leader of the party and only he could give it instructions on removing candidates from its list for the elections. Jabulani Kumalo, who registered the party last year but was expelled last month, wrote to the IEC and asked the commission to remove Zuma as the face of MKP and as the president of the MKP. Kumalo also wrote a letter to Zuma dated May 5th, informing him of his precautionary suspension as the result of acts of misconduct in relation to the activities of the MKP. He said these acts had brought the party into disrepute and caused confusion within the broader public and the membership of the MKP. Specifically, you have purported to suspend me as the president of the party without following the procedures prescribed by the constitution of the party. Kumalo wrote to the IEC saying, I wrote to you in the capacity as the president of MKP. This is to request the immediate removal of Mr. Zuma's name as the face of MKP and president of MKP. He said that prior to registering the ANC splinter grouping, he had consulted with Zuma and had sought his advice on the new formation. During those consultations, Mr. Zuma proposed that any name of the party should be aligned with the ANC because there are too many political parties and the brand of the ANC is entrenched within the public and the population. Kumalo accused Zuma of trying to hijack the political party and pushing him aside. In the circumstances, I request urgently that the Electoral Commission remove Mr. Zuma's name as the face of the MKP. He should be immediately removed as president. He occupies both positions through fraudulent and illegal maneuvers. The interim executive will be taking steps immediately to address the conduct of Mr. Zuma. The IEC, in a statement on Tuesday, confirmed it had received Kumalo's letter but said it does not involve itself in internal affairs of political parties. The commission only acts on instructions of the registered leader of the party. In the present case, Mr. Jacob Zuma is the registered leader of the MK party. This has been so since April 10, 2024, the IEC said in its statement. The MKP on Tuesday said the National Leader Corps remains united, resolute and intact. As confirmed by the IEC, President Jacob Zuma remains the one and only leader and president of MKP and continues to lead the party with strength and conviction. Mr. Kumalo's expulsion from the party further signifies our commitment to the principles for which we stand, the party said in a statement. It said that Zuma, the true architect behind the formation of the MK party, including its name and launch date, continues to guide the movement. Kumalo could not be reached for comment on Tuesday. Kumalo and other senior leaders Ray Kumalo, Lebo Mopeng, Becky Manzini and Rochelle Davidson were expelled from the party last month on allegation that they were working with outside forces to infiltrate the MKP. At a meeting by the National Leadership Corps, and in light of attempts by external forces to destabilize the MK party, whose aim is to advance the revolution of the people, the National Leadership Corps has taken a decision to expel the comrades, National Spokesman Glamour said after the leaders were expelled. Political analyst Professor Bheki Mngomezulu said Khumalo's claims were very concerning for the newly formed party. I don't think that Mr. Khumalo is handling this issue correctly. The least he could have done if he felt aggrieved that he was suspended or expelled from the party would have been to follow the party's procedures. He could have appealed against the decision within the internal structures of the interim structure of the organization. If that failed, then he could have taken the matter through the legal route. Mngomezulu said Khumalo calling for Zuma's provincial suspension only makes the situation worse. It is not going to augur well for him as an individual and for the party as an organization. So it's something that could have been easily avoided if people were sober-minded and stick to the rules that govern all of us in terms of procedure, Mngomezulu said. IEC to announce election results on Sunday, June 2nd. This is why. The Electoral Commission of South Africa, IEC, says it will announce the election results on Sunday, June 2nd. This is the first time the IEC will announce the results on a Sunday, as election results have been traditionally released on a Saturday. IEC Deputy Chief Electoral Commissioner Masego Sheburi made the announcement during an elections workshop with the SA National Editors Forum in Rosebank on Wednesday. Sheburi said this was due to a number of reasons, including the fact that there would be at least 50 more ballots than in previous elections, due to the third ballot being introduced to accommodate the independent candidates running for the first time in the national and provincial elections. He said it was possible that the commission could still announce the results on Saturday if all counting and any arising disputes were finalized, but this will be unlikely. Objections had to be lodged with the IEC by Friday, May 31st latest. There will be a 50% increase in the number of ballots because of the extra ballots, and there will be 52 parties on the national ballots this year, said Sheburi. He said in the previous election, some of the bigger municipalities were the last to finalize their votes due to the fact that they were bigger. We think it is better to do a proper job and delay by a day. But if we are able to do everything, we will announce on the Saturday, he said. Sheburi said the extra day was not being introduced to rig votes, adding that 90% of the vote counts would be finalized within 24 hours of the votes being cast on May 29. He said the final 10% of the votes required an extra day, not because the IEC could not count, but because this was when attempts at vote rigging typically took place and required the Commission to take a closer forensic look on such results. The final 10% of the vote count takes 24 hours to resolve, not because people can't count, but because that is where there was concerted effort to subvert the will of the people. People want to manufacture reasons to change the result slip, and they don't give us the original result slip, he said, explaining that any changes to result slips had to be accompanied with the original result slip with sound reasons about the changes made. Sheburi said during the 2016 municipal elections, there had been an incident where officials and party agents made changes to result slips, but when they could not justify the changes made, they staged a protest at the voting results center in protest. Sheburi said the protest was a first to create a distraction for dodgy electoral processes at the station level. The Results Operations Center for the May 29th elections will be at the Glamour Estate in Midrand, Johannesburg. He said votes at voting stations had to be counted where they were cast, and in conjunction with the preceding officers and party agents, the result slip from each voting station will be communicated to the IEC for capturing. He said in cases of emergencies, such as natural disasters or possible violence, the IEC could authorize votes to be counted outside of the voting station, but such a process will be closely monitored and controlled. Double column ballot. Sheburi also explained that due to the number of political parties and independents contesting the elections, there would be a security-sensitive double-column ballot instead of the normal single-column ballot that most South Africans have become accustomed to since the first elections in 1994. He said although voter research showed voters preferred a single ballot column, the IEC had opted for the double column ballot due to the fact that there were only 2 service providers available to administer the single ballot column, but both did not have the security features required. How the ballot looks. Sheburi has explained that after conducting voter research, the IEC learned and has decided to include the full name of a political party or independent candidate, the abbreviation of the party, the logo of the political party, and the face of the leader of the political party. Touching on the drama involving the MK party, where the party has attempted to put former President Jacob Zuma on the ballot, despite the party leader registered with the IEC being Jabulani Kumalo. The IEC said this was resolved when the MK party informed them in a letter that the party leader was now effectively Zuma and no longer Kumalo. We said we can only put the registered leader on the party. We know now that the party has changed its leadership, said Sheburi. No more changes to the ballot. Meanwhile, the IEC has stressed that it has concluded with the ballot and has shipped ballots abroad already. IEC officials said no more changes could be made to the ballot or the lists, and in the case of deaths or expulsions, those would have to be amended after the elections. And that's it from INJIBS Network. Stay tuned to our celebrity and gossip news.